Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Nick from ForexNoob.com with the daily analysis. Today is Thursday, the 30th of April, 2020, and the time is 1 p.m. here in the UK. You're looking at a USDCAD daily chart. In today's analysis, we're going to be looking for price action setups across all of these pairs. Start things off with what's going on with Euro GBP? Oh, this was entered yesterday. It's not going that well. Yeah, some of you guys entered this one yesterday. We'll start things off with USDCAD. This one was a trade I shared on the 23rd of April. It took a while to get to its target, but it's now hit its target. Therefore, it has been closed out with its full target. Ended up being a pretty solid trade. No complaints with this one, really. Now we're looking at a potential long, so a turnaround from this support area, which would firmly establish a range, which would be quite good. So I'm going to keep a close eye on this spot here for a long. Considering that it's Thursday and this probably won't trigger until at the very earliest tomorrow, I might not end up getting into this until next week. If it ends up being an actual trade anyway, it could just go straight through this support area. For all we know, it looks like it's stalling right now, but we're just over halfway into the trading day. So, it could, yeah, by the end of the day, it could definitely have broken through this support area here. So I'm going to keep a close eye on it as a potential trade, but I'm not too excited. I'm not going to get too excited until later in the day when this actually closes like this, hopefully. AUDCAD, we're looking here for a potential short yesterday. Look, you could technically enter a short here today. It looks like a potential reversal is forming. You'd be countering a very strong bullish trend. So it is obviously going to be a slightly risky one. Let's take a look at AUDUSD. Let's see what that's doing, because that will give us a good indication as to whether price is going to turn around. Because AUDCAD's a cross pair, if AUDUSD is going down, there's a decent chance that AUDCAD will go down. So I like to take a look at the main pair related to the cross pair, or the main pair and the cross, I guess. Not really convinced AUDUSD is heading down, to be honest. And also, I'm not really convinced with this resistance area, because it could be up here higher, it could be down here. I'm not going to trade AUDCAD yet. I'm going to leave this one be and just see how it develops. I'm not overly confident on this resistance area. Plus, AUDUSD doesn't look like it's going to slow down. I mean, we are getting indecision, but it's not at resistance. It's hard to say that AUDUSD is going to slow down. Therefore, it's hard to say that AUDCAD is going to slow down much. If you really wanted to, you could enter short here. I just consider it a bit too risky for my taste, but it is, technically speaking, a valid short setup. But yeah, for me personally, it's just a bit too risky. GBPCAD, there was a long here technically this morning, which already triggered on the 12-hour. It's not a great long trade, guys. I was waiting for the daily, and even on the daily, it wasn't fantastic. It was a bit late for the daily. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything with this, but I will keep an eye on it, because I want to see, honestly, I want to see price fall further into the support area and stall out. I still think it's a bit early. It's barely touched the support area. I want to see price fall further into the support area and stall out. So if you wanted to take a riskier kind of setup, you could be in on the 12-hour. I'm waiting for the daily. GBPUSD, since the start of the week, we've been wanting it to go up to this resistance area and stall out. It looked like it was going up there, but then it kind of just petered out a little bit, and the move hasn't been overall that strong heading towards this resistance area. So I'm just still waiting for it to head towards a resistance area. I'm looking forward to what happens when it hits this resistance area, because I think there's a very good chance of a nice reversal there. It's just taking its time to get there. New Zealand USD, there was a potential long here yesterday. I was talking about it during the analysis. At the time, it looked very different to what it looks like now. Price was kind of forming a similar candle to this 12-hour candle, but down here. Obviously, I didn't end up entering this one because by the time the webinar had ended, it had already pushed up significantly. I think we were talking about it on the 6-hour, weren't we? Yeah, we were. We were talking about it on the 6-hour. So by the time the webinar had ended and I started looking at it, it had pulled all the way back up to here, or something like that. And from there, it just never really started to fall back down. So I did not enter this one, but I still am looking for a potential short here. It just seems like this first move was a bit too early. There's still potential for a short, but it's looking less and less likely, especially with this current 12-hour candle. Well, the previous one making a new high and this current one pushing up right now, looking like it's going to break the high of the previous one. So I'm still looking for a potential short here, but it's unlikely that it's actually going to happen at this point. Honestly, overall, it looks like this might be starting to trend up, which is probably going to be pretty solid for our 1-hour chart trading, but I'm not sure we're going to see anything here. You know what? I'm just going to remove it from the list because it's just not looking like it's going to give us a setup. Let's see if we can find any new setups. No, nothing new today. Nothing much has changed from yesterday. Actually, we haven't looked at these. Yeah, but nothing much has changed from yesterday. Ooh, except EURAUD. EURAUD is firmly stalling out on top of the support area, so definitely potential for a long trade here. I'm going to keep a close eye on this one, see what happens at this support area. It could definitely turn around here, but it is a very, very strong bearish trend that we would be countering. So, you know, there is definitely some risk here. So I'm going to keep a close eye on this, see how it develops. And EURGBP, just a quick talk about EURGBP. So I shared a potential long here. I think it was in Tuesday's analysis, maybe Wednesday's analysis. No, it was probably Tuesday's analysis because by yesterday, some people had already jumped in. Obviously, this one's not going too well. It didn't go too well yesterday. It was moving up, and then all of a sudden, we just got this huge turnaround, which was a bit strange, and we couldn't figure out why. And it just hasn't recovered since then. Depending on where your stop loss was, you might have already been stopped out, or you might have just missed the stop, or you would have got out when, you know, you noticed it wasn't really doing anything. So either way, this one was a loss. It's just depending how significant of a loss it was. It could have been a full loss. It could have been a half loss. It could have been a break-even exit. I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about this one. Just didn't really pan out. So I'm just going to remove this one from the list. I don't really see anything here. I don't know why I haven't really been using the 200 MA recently, which I probably should do more. But I don't really trust the 200 moving average anyway, very much on cross pairs. It just doesn't tend to work as well with cross pairs. Like you can see just by looking at it that, yeah, sure, sometimes it bounces from it, but most times it tends to just go through it by a fair bit. And if you're really honest, it almost acts as if it's not there most of the time. So I don't put much stock on it in cross pairs. I find that it works a lot better for the majors, as you see here. It works a lot better as resistance. And of course, there's going to be times where it cuts through it as if it's not there. But you know, that's just a fact with any support resistance area. But you can see like just clearly how much more it respects the 200 moving average as a resistance area on a major pair versus a cross pair. So yeah, that's I mentioned that in the course like a bunch of times. I think it's the first thing I mentioned in the 200 moving average video in the course. I think I don't know why, but it seems like everyone forgets that part of the video. I probably need to make it more clear or something. The best thing would be, to be honest, if TradingView would allow you to just apply an indicator per pair as opposed to globally. And honestly, per time frame really would be fantastic. If you could just hide them on certain time frames, that would be great. I need to do something to make it more of a sticking point in that video. That way people remember. Because I feel like ultimately it's my fault. If you guys are forgetting, it's something that I'm doing wrong in the way I'm teaching it. Yeah, that's the reason. It's just more institutions are trading. Institutions are the ones that are using the 200 moving average. So the big banks, hedge funds, most of those traders will have one of these on their charts. And that's why it acts well as support resistance. But most of the trades from them are coming on the majors and not so much on the crosses, which is why it just tends to work better on the majors as support resistance. So yeah, Euro GBP also, as you pointed out, it does look like it acted as resistance here, and yeah, but again, I just don't put as much stock in the 200 moving average on Euro GBP, and you could just look at how it behaves in regards to 200 moving average to see that it doesn't really act as support resistance that much. Sure, there are some points where you could say, yeah, it acted as support resistance there, but you know, you can do that, like you could just throw any line up on your charts and then scroll back far enough, you are going to find a point where, see, I just threw this one up here. Wait, did I throw this one up or this one? No, I think it was this one. I threw this one up here, and then what do you know, scroll back enough, there, we got a bounce there. We got a bounce there. You know, oh, we got a bounce there. So you could do that with any random line is going to interact with, is going to have a, you know, a point where price bounce from it. Well, not any, but most. So the 200 moving average, of course, is going to work every now and then, but like overwhelmingly on a cross pair like Euro GBP, it just cuts straight through it as if it doesn't exist. So I don't really pay much attention to it on cross pairs. Jackson, that's not how it works. The 200 moving average is just a moving average that banks and hedge funds use because it's kind of like one of those things that's always been used, and then it becomes a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy where because it's always been used and it's still used, it just works. because it's on their chart and they place their orders based on it, therefore price reacts to it. But there's no like magic to it. It's just a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy where it works because it's on the chart and people place their orders at this level. So there's no like magic number that you can use for each pair. This is just something that works because people use it. But the people who use it, and when I say people, I don't mean people like us who are classed as retail traders, and the amount we trade can never have an impact on the market. I'm talking about people who can have an impact on the market in banks, managed funds, hedge funds, all those kind of big traders. Because they have it on their charts and they're placing their orders based on it, that's why price reacts to it. So yeah, 200 moving average, I'm only really using it on the major pairs. And even on the major pairs a lot of the times, it's not fantastic. But it does have its uses, for sure, it does. And price just tends to work, to bounce from it a lot better on major pairs. So yeah. Where were we? I still think there's a good chance, by the way, that Euro GBP will bounce from this level. I just think that perhaps that trade was a bit early. I still think there's a good chance it'll bounce from this level. We'll just wait and see what happens, but I'm not going to take a trade there. Yeah, so 1 hour chart. It's been a good week overall. There's been, especially on the 1 hour chart, I think I've taken only 3 trades on the 1 hour chart. That's because I've been sick, so I haven't been trading as much as I would like. So with the 3 trades I took, 3 of them were closed out at break even because they just didn't run up. So like that was AUDJPY, and I can't remember the other ones. But this one was closed out this morning just with a tiny bit of profit. Nothing. It was pretty much break even. I'm just calling it a break even trade. But that's happened with the other trades I took. As you guys know, I've been sick for like a week and a half. I'm feeling a lot better today though. And it was really weird. I had massive headaches and just this kind of like brain fog where I just couldn't really think properly. And now my partner has it. She's got the exact same thing now. I ended up actually forgetting one of the trades I took earlier in the week, which is kind of something that never happens to me. But yeah, I'm feeling a lot better today, so looks like I am getting back to normal, thankfully. But yeah, I believe I took 4 1 hour chart trades this week. 3 of them closed out break even. One of them hit its target quite nicely, which was the USDJPY short I shared in the chat room. So yeah, let's take another look at the 1 hour chart, see if we can get anything here today. Because as I always explain with these 1 hour chart trades, it's not so much about the amount of trades you win. The goal with these 1 hour chart trades is to have a big target. That way on the ones you do win, you win way more than your losses, which pretty much is something that you can see from my trades this week, where I took 4 trades. I only won 1 of them, but the other 3 were closed out with no loss because I like to keep the losses very low, as low as possible. and the win was closed out with like 2.5 R, so I'm ahead by a fair bit this week. So that's what 1 hour chart trading is. I just constantly feel like I have to remind you guys of that, because with our daily chart trading, we're always looking for a higher win rate. And with this, we're doing the complete opposite, which might be a bit weird for people. The reason I'm staring so long at this USD CAD chart is I'm quite interested in trading some sort of breakout here, but it's just not quite. If we look over to the daily, we can see that it's at this major low right now. What I want to see from USD CAD is I want to see a clear break of this major low. So why is this a major low? Because it's the low that was created back here on the 14th of April. It's the lowest point price has been since its huge climb up here. So it could either bounce from here, or it could break straight through. Or, you know, it could also just move sideways for the next 3 weeks. You never really know. But the point is, if it breaks through here, then that would be an indication that it's going to start trending down. Now, you could argue that it has broken through here, but obviously it's not been a proper break. It's just like poked through. It's like a kind of like a small test, and the test kind of failed, really. It didn't actually get through. It just poked through, and then it didn't last, let's say. So I want to see on the daily chart price actually breaking through this support area, breaking through this low, and starting to move down. And then I'll be looking to trade short on this trend, short breakouts. So very curious what's going to happen here. I'm going to keep a close eye on this one. Purple means that there is a potential setup on both the daily and the 1 hour chart. So both strategies that we're trading. Blue means there's a potential setup on just the 1 hour chart, and orange means there's a potential setup on just the daily chart. So I know that's a bit confusing, but hey, that's what we got to do at the moment, because we're kind of doing two different strategies. What's going on with USD? Yeah, the CAD news could cause that breakthrough that we're looking for in 7 minutes. So yeah, let's see what happens there. Nothing much here. Reason I'm looking at the daily is I'm looking for strong trends, because I'm only trading strong trends on the 1 hour chart. So unless it's a strong trend, then I'm just not going to trade it. Perhaps EURAUD, although I'm not a huge fan of trading EURAUD on the 1 hour, but there's definitely some potential here. It is trending down pretty strong on the daily. So there's definitely potential for a short breakout when it breaks this green line here. This green line is the low point. It bounced away from it. So a break through here would indicate that this bearish trend's potentially going to continue. So yeah, there's potential here. Also, I'm going to remove the blue things here, because that was from yesterday and they're no longer, there's no longer any setups there. Yeah, I'm not really seeing much on the 1 hour chart, but you know, just by the nature of the chart itself, that could change quite quickly. So by the end of today, we could be seeing a lot of 1 hour chart trades, especially since there are things that are kind of trending. It just seems like the trends are stalling out right now, like there. But AUDJPY, AUDUSD, it's still overall in a trend. It's just if the trend continues, then we can start creating some 1 hour chart setups there. Actually, USDJPY, there's still potential for a short here. If it does start pushing through this green line, there's still potential for a short there. So that's the same as yesterday. Yeah, but other than that, there's not a whole lot happening on the 1 hour chart. So just to review, 1 hour charts, we got EURAUD. If it breaks through this green line, I'll be looking for a short. USDJPY, if it breaks through this green line, I'll be looking for a short. USDCAD, I just want to, this one is going to take a little while because we need it to give us a firm break of this support area, and then after that, I'll start looking for shorts, not when it breaks it, because this is a very old support area in terms of the 1 hour chart. I know it's only from the 13th of April, but in terms of the 1 hour chart, this is a very old support area, so I'm not going to trade a break of that. Right, and on the daily, things are a little bit more interesting. We have EURAUD potential long from price stalling out on this support area here. AUDCAD potential short. GBPCAD, nothing really here. We just want price to kind of fall into the support area, which it's not there yet. And GBPUSD, we want price to push up and hit resistance. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the analysis. We got 3 minutes. Can we kill 3 minutes? That way we can see what this news does. Probably can. CAD GBP, CAD GDP rather. I said CAD GBP. CAD GDP. We have the ECB press conference too. Cool. And then we got unemployment claims. It's a bit of a weak trend, but I guess if you want to trade it as a breakout, you could. It's not a really strong trend, but yeah, you could trade it as a breakout. I don't really say it's not. I just didn't really look at it, to be honest. I just flicked through it and I didn't really pay it much attention because the trend overall on the daily chart is not that strong. And if the trend's not strong, I tend to not want to get into the trade. But if you're okay with this trend, which is overall a pretty weak trend, if you're okay with this trend, then yeah, you could feasibly trade a breakout here on New Zealand USD on a break of this green line, a long one. The 1 hour chart strategy just isn't as much fun right now because the markets have slowed down significantly from when we started trading this in reaction to the crazy markets. But there is still enough moves there to make this profitable. It's just not as good as it was in those crazy market conditions. But I'm not convinced that those conditions are going to be gone for good or we're going back to normal, because we are without a doubt heading into a global recession. I mean, that it's not like a conspiracy theory or something crazy. That's happening. The only possible chance we have of recovery is perhaps if things open back up, maybe the economic damage won't be that extreme and we could just kind of recover. But a lot of countries were heading into a recession anyway, and this has just sped up what was going to happen. So who knows? But if we do fall into a global recession, the charts are going to be moving like crazy, and they're still moving like crazy compared to normal conditions. It's just not as crazy as it was 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. Was USDCAD? Yeah, so not much change with that news. The GDP came out 0.0%. Yeah, not much reaction. I meant to do 1 minute. Yeah, almost nothing. Fair enough. Well, that pretty much means just nothing has changed. Everything's the same. Not looking for anything different. Yeah, exactly. There's also a potential of a second wave, which would really suck because I think people are already struggling with staying at home. So I don't mind it so much because I'm kind of used to it. One of the benefits of being a trader and working from home is that this kind of lockdown doesn't change your life that much. I am missing going out for lunch and going to coffee shops and stuff, but you know, it's not, I don't really have that much to complain about. But if I'm dreading a continued lockdown in my situation, I can't imagine what people who are more accustomed to going out daily are feeling with the thought of a second wave of corona and lockdown for, you know, potentially another 3-6 months, who knows. But anyway, guys, we're not really here to talk about corona. I'm sure everyone's tired of hearing about it. I sure am. It's just all you hear about these days. So I'll shut up about corona. I'm really hoping that the markets don't get crazy. I would honestly be very happy overall to scrap the 1 hour chart strategy and just go back to the normal thing we were doing last year. Simply because if we are trading that 1 hour chart strategy, it means that the global economy has gone to absolute crap. And, you know, that would be very, very bad for a lot of people. And personally, I'm happier making less money as long as everyone else is doing okay than just cashing in on a global recession, which, you know, I would do because why wouldn't I do it? But it's not something that I'm really looking forward to be honest. So, hey, if we have to scrap the 1 hour chart strategy and go back to normal, that would be fantastic because it will mean that we've somehow miraculously recovered the economy and the world's going back to being in a decent place. So, yeah. Let's see how that all goes. Any questions? Or shall we wrap this one up, guys? It feels so good to not have a foggy brain. Like, I just feel like I'm back to normal. I can think again. I shouldn't really have been trading in that condition. I don't even know what was wrong with me. But it's definitely some kind of like bacterial or viral infection because my girlfriend has it right now. And she obviously caught it from me. And it wasn't just like, you know, a brain tumor or anything. It's like some sort of virus or something. Thank you, guys. Doesn't look like there's any questions. I'll be on the chat room a lot more now that I'm better because I'm not having trouble looking at my screen. I'm not getting headaches that much. I'm still not like 100%, but like compared to yesterday, I feel a million times better. So I'll be on the chat room more. Sorry for my absence from the chat room, apart from just throwing up a few trades in the morning and then not showing up again till the next day. But yeah, I just couldn't really handle staring at my screen. So yeah, I'll be back there, and I'll see you guys on the chat room. To all you non-members, I'll see you in next week's analysis, which will be Tuesday at 1 p.m. Usually what times? I don't know, it varies. I don't really have a schedule at the moment because, you know, things have changed so much that I don't really have a schedule. I usually get on when I wake up, so that's like 7, 8 a.m. And then periodically throughout the day, as things are happening, I'll hop on and I'll, you know, say what trade I'm in and how I'm managing that trade. So yeah, I'll catch you guys for Tuesday's analysis, and obviously I'll catch you guys in the chat room. Thank you very much, and thank you guys for being understanding while I was sick, and not being angry that I wasn't more active in the chat room. And I'll see you guys later.